I never thought a simple favor could turn into a complete emotional catastrophe. The moment I agreed to stand by Ethan's side as his fake boyfriend, I didn't anticipate the wild chaos of butterflies that would invade my stomach. "You're sure you can handle this?" Ethan had asked, a smirk tugging at his lips like he knew exactly how dangerous this could get. Dangerous? I should have been warning him. The paparazzi had started stalking our every step, a swarm of camera flashes hunting for any hint of truth. Our office had just announced a big partnership with a tech giant in New York, and suddenly our lives were no longer ours. We were public property. My heart raced the moment I felt Ethan's hand brush mine while we walked through the lobby. "Keep your cool," he whispered, but his warmth against my arm was anything but cool. Ethan always had this effortless charm, like the world was his playground and I was lucky enough to share a corner of it. He leaned slightly toward me, a conspiratorial smile playing at the edge of his lips. "Pretend couples," he murmured, "usually start off awkward, but I think we can make it believable." Believable? My mind was screaming. "You're way too believable for me to handle." The first time we were photographed holding hands, I almost dropped my coffee. Ethan noticed, of course. He leaned close and whispered, "Relax, they're just cameras. Not my heart. Or yours. Unless you want it to be." I choked on the words I hadn't said, the ones I couldn't, because even in pretending, my feelings were dangerously real. Our routine became a strange, intoxicating dance. During lunch breaks, our conversations drifted from work gossip to absurd hypotheticals, our shoulders touching more often than strictly necessary. I found myself memorizing the curve of his smile, the way his laughter lingered, the subtle nervous tick when he was too aware of me. Pretending to be his boyfriend was turning into a delicious torment I had never anticipated. One rainy Thursday, as we rushed through Times Square to avoid the crowd of cameras, Ethan pulled me under a shop awning, his hands gripping mine as if I might disappear into the chaos. "Maybe we're overthinking this," he said, water dripping from his hair, catching the neon lights, and suddenly, with no warning, our faces were close. Too close. My heart thumped in a rhythm I hadn't known existed. This is not pretend anymore, I thought, but my lips refused to obey the logic my brain desperately tried to hold onto. Back at our apartment, we sprawled on the couch, pretending to scroll through the photos the press had snapped. Ethan leaned into me, his breath warm against my ear. "You know," he said slowly, "if we're pretending, I might as well enjoy it." My stomach flipped. Was he teasing or? Before I could respond, his hand brushed my hair from my face, and I felt the first spark of something undeniably real. Evenings became a delicate balance of performance and temptation. At cocktail parties, our arms intertwined naturally. At the office, we whispered jokes in corners no one could see. My emotions were spiraling, a storm I had no umbrella for. Every glance, every accidental brush of fingers, every soft laugh at my jokes, it wasn't acting anymore. I couldn't tell where the act ended and my heart began. It was during a late-night rooftop shoot for a charity event that everything shifted. Ethan, in his usual tailored blazer, looked down at me with a softness I had never seen before. "I think you're ruining my ability to stay professional," he said, his voice low, teasing but edged with something more dangerous. My chest tightened, the air thick with tension I could no longer ignore. I wanted to pull him close, to break the fragile line between pretend and reality, but I hesitated. Ethan tilted his head, his eyes searching mine, the city lights reflecting in his gaze. "You know," he whispered, "maybe pretending isn't so bad, when the pretending feels this real." My breath caught, and I realized I had been holding it for hours, days, weeks, since the very first time we touched hands in front of those flashing cameras. I had agreed to a favor thinking it was harmless. Instead, I had stepped into a maze of emotions I wasn't prepared for, a tangle of desire, fear, and undeniable affection. Ethan was charming, infuriating, and heartbreakingly real, and I was completely and utterly lost in him. The city lights flickered like tiny stars beneath us as Ethan's hand found mine again. This time, I didn't hesitate. I let our fingers intertwine, letting the electricity of the touch flood my chest. Every camera in New York could snap 100 photos. I didn't care. Because finally I was done pretending. Do you know what scares me? Ethan asked softly, resting his forehead against mine. His usual teasing smile had melted into something tender, vulnerable. That this, whatever this is, might disappear if we stop acting. I laughed bitterly at first because that fear was mine too. We don't need to act anymore, I whispered. I mean it. I don't want this to be pretend. Not with you. Ethan's eyes searched mine, a storm of emotion raging behind them. Then he smiled the real, unguarded smile I had been craving. And just like that, everything shifted. Pretending to be his boyfriend had been a lie, but loving him, that was truth. The kind of truth that made your heart hammer, your knees weak, and your soul feel weightless all at once. The following weeks were a dizzying mix of joy and discovery. We navigated the city together, now without the charade, exploring late-night diners, crowded street fairs, and quiet parks. The press continued their relentless hunt, but Ethan and I had found our secret place within the chaos. Even amidst flashing cameras, a gentle squeeze of his hand or a playful nudge made me feel as if the world had narrowed down to just us. One evening, as autumn leaves fell like golden confetti around Central Park, Ethan stopped walking and pulled me close. Do you remember the first time we were photographed holding hands? He asked, his voice low, almost shy. I nodded, smiling at the memory of my nervous heart pounding in public. I hated it then, he continued. But now, I love it. I love holding your hand, being seen with you. Not because we have to, but because I want to. I couldn't stop the smile that spread across my face. My chest felt too full for words. I've been waiting for you to say that, I confessed, laughing softly. Me too, he whispered, his forehead resting against mine again, as if he could feel every beat of my heart. And in that simple, quiet moment, all the pretense, all the fear, all the lingering tension melted away. Winter came, and with it, a deeper closeness that no cameras could capture. We stayed in, cooking together, sharing small jokes, and stealing kisses over the simmering pots. I learned the curve of his shoulder, the warmth of his chest against mine, the way he hummed softly when he was lost in thought. Our lives had intertwined in ways neither of us could have imagined when this started as a simple favor. Then came the night of the company gala, where the paparazzi were sure to swarm. Ethan, looking impossibly handsome in a tailored black suit, slipped his hand into mine before we entered. Ready to show the world we're real? He asked with that mischievous sparkle in his eyes. I squeezed his hand, heart swelling. More than ready. Inside, the cameras clicked, flashes stuttered, and the crowd murmured. But all I saw was Ethan, the boy who had stolen my heart while I was pretending to be his boyfriend. As we walked together, side by side, our smiles were genuine, our touches unguarded, and our hearts completely exposed. We didn't need to hide anymore. The world could see, but more importantly, we could feel. Later, on a quiet rooftop far from the prying eyes, Ethan pulled me close and kissed me. Not for the cameras, not for the act, but because it was real. My arms wrapped around him instinctively, and I realized in that instant that pretending had never been the point. It had been fate leading me to him. We laughed, breathless, holding each other under the city sky, the noise of the world fading into insignificance. I guess pretending wasn't so bad after all, Ethan said with a smirk, his nose brushing mine. Yeah, I replied, my heart full. Because I got to find you. From that night on, we stopped pretending entirely. We faced the world hand in hand, our hearts aligned, discovering the unexpected magic of love that had grown from a simple lie. And though the cameras still followed, we no longer cared. We had found our truth, our laughter, our stolen kisses in quiet corners, and a love so real it made every moment of pretense worthwhile. In the end, I realized that pretending had been the first step to honesty. Pretending had led me straight into the arms of the boy who made my heart skip a beat, Ethan. And now there was no pretense. There was only us, together, finally, perfectly, and wonderfully real. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.